Momentarily. And we're live.
And
I'm
we're
here dancing
live.
around.
Let's do the
Oh
fire
gosh.
dance. I'm dancing
And
with the
I'm here like
magnetism.
dancing around.
Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Tea Talk with Gina and MJ. We're so excited to have you here today and be discussing beautiful crown chakra. We went up to the
Yep.
crown chakra up here. And this is where we're
Yep.
going.
We have two blends to talk about because sometimes we need a little bit of a soothing tea. For those of you who may experience these things called ADHD, ADD, whatever the case is, we're always kind of up here, and sometimes we just need to be down here a little bit. And then some of us, like for me lately, over the last month or about the last month, I'd say, I've been kind of on the, more subdued side. So I kind of needed a boost. So I'm going to be working with the activating one today. But we're going to be talking about both blends. So welcome to Tea Talk with Gina and MJ. And as you're popping in, please do say hello. Hi, Shannon. Shannon is here.
Hi, Shannon. Hola. How are you? Giving you some
And I'm
sage.
standing up today. So you might notice I move around a lot because I'm not, I'm usually sitting down, which kind of helps to keep me in place. So if you see me moving around and dancing around, that's just, hey.
I'm just gonna dance with her so that we're both vibing. We're vibing. We're talking to you and we're vibing. We're talking to you and we're vibing.
Yeah, that tea must be working. I had a little bit of it earlier. All right. So the first tea is I think we're gonna start with the soothing one.
Okay.
And for those of you who haven't been here, we're actually we're talking about the crown chakra. We've done 6 of the other chakras already. So I'm going to link all of them, and actually I will link the playlist because I do have them in a playlist. I will link that to this video at the end so that you'll be able to go back and watch all of them. Some of the ingredients we'll talk about. We've already in this tea we've already talked about, so we're not going to like spend forever discussing their benefits. We're just going to say go back and watch this particular video, okay? The ones that we have not focused on, we will spend a little bit more time talking about those today. And as usual, if you've not been here before, I tend to talk about the herbal side, which I know tends to be kind of the boring side, but that's okay. And then MJ comes in with her magical self and talks about the crystal
Yay!
pieces and all of the magic and the history behind all of these things, right?
She doesn't
All right, so
understand, but her boring side is so important. I mean, the magical side is wonderful, but on a
yeah,
day-to-day basis, it is the boring stuff that gets you through the do. And how great to know that at any minute you can go in your kitchen and make magic. That's what this is about. It's going back
yeah,
to basics and knowing that you have all these ingredients. And yes, there are amazing teas out there, and people sell amazing, great teas out there. That's all blessings. What we want to show you is how you can make your own tea. And by using these little things right here, your spirit fingers, woo, you can make magic. And that's what this is all
absolutely.
about.
Absolutely. So in the soothing, let's just jump right into it. This is the soothing blend. Let me see if I can show you. One of the most obvious ingredients in there would be lavender. I'm sure you can see those little purple little bits in there. So this is the soothing one, and this has ashwagandha, skullcap, tulsi, which is holy basil, lavender, and then there is of course stevia as well, but stevia is in here to kind of give it a little bit of a sweetish taste. So if you don't, when you make this, stevia is completely optional. You do not have to put stevia in if you do not want, but I have a little bit of that in here. So the ones that we're going to focus on, we're going to run through some of them rather quickly, but we'll focus quite a bit on skullcap, and I think we've talked about Tulsi and lavender before. So skullcap is going to be the one that we'll really focus on with this. But of course, the first ingredient in the soothing crown chakra tea is ashwagandha. We've talked about this before in other videos. And ashwagandha, it has been worked with for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine as well as Ayurveda, for supporting people with anxiety, depression, that sort of thing, right? And you'll see the common theme with all of these ingredients is going to be pretty much kind of anti-anxiety, anti-depression, that those sort of things, right? So we've talked about ashwagandha before, so I'm not going to harp on that right now. We are going to move on to the next one. I'm going to link, like I said, all the videos that talked about all of the other ingredients. Kathleen is here. She says, hi, Gina. Hi, MJ. So ashwagandha, go back. We'll get detailed information on ashwagandha. And I'm sure you've probably heard about ashwagandha
So good for you.
before.
It's
It's one of
alone.
the,
Each one
yes.
of these teas we give you, I know we're not going to touch a lot on it, but each is really good alone. And then adding them together, you're just intensifying. It's just like with the crystals and the Reiki and the sound tools. Using them all together, you're intensifying the magic, and that's what that is.
Yes, you're creating what's called synergy when you put all of the different ingredients together. All right, so skullcap. Skullcap. Let's focus on skullcap. This is the next ingredient in the soothing blend. There are several different types of skullcap. There's an American skullcap, and then there's a Chinese skullcap, and they each tend to do things a little bit differently. So, but they do have their similarities. So, American skullcap. In the American skullcap tends to improve your mood. It reduces anxiety, and again, you'll see this as a trend. And it reduces anxiety because it tends to stimulate the GABA in our brain. The GABA is a neurotransmitter that actually helps us to calm our nerves. Okay, so the American ginseng helps to stimulate GABA. And this has been used in traditional medicine. We're not talking about traditional Chinese medicine, just traditional medicine for a very long time. I'm sure for probably hundreds of years as far as the American skullcap is concerned. And it's been used as a sedative and supporting people with conditions like insomnia. Because skullcap, just the name alone, skull, you know that it has something to do with up here, right? And typically people with insomnia, it's because you have, at the end of the day, you have all of these thoughts going on in your head. You're thinking about everything that happened throughout the day. Maybe somebody really ticked you off and you're still dealing with all of those things and, wondering what you can do. Or maybe you just had like the kids just kind of tugging at you constantly, but there's all of this stuff that's going on in your head and you cannot sleep, right? And skullcap, whether it's the American one or the Chinese one, is very good for helping you to relax at the end of the day and kind of, help you to collect your thoughts in a little bit more effective manner, right? So you can focus properly rather than having just kind of all of this mumbo jumbo or thoughts going on in your head. So if you have insomnia from all of the things that happen throughout the day, or just insomnia in general, but typically, insomnia is from all of the thoughts that we're not able to kind of process properly, right? So insomnia is one of the ways that skullcap is used. Skullcap has so many antibacterial and antiviral benefits as well. And that we're talking about the American, that's the American skullcap. Now, Chinese skullcap, this particular one is called skullcap, and I'm probably going to butcher this, skullcap barbata. It's been shown to be 100%, I'm not making this up, 100% effective against bacteria that typically causes pneumonia. And it's been studied over and over, and this has been the skullcap that's used for people who have been, who have developed pneumonia for one reason or another. The Chinese skullcap or skullcap barbata has been shown to be 100% effective in treating the bacteria that leads to the pneumonia. And you can look up all of these. This research is there online. Everything that I'm giving you is research based. There's tons of studies out there. I'm not, just kind of throwing this stuff out there. All of the information I'm giving you is based on research that has been done. It's been shown to be more effective than certain antibiotics out there. Just by drinking some skullcap helps to kind of relieve all of the congestion from the lungs. One of the main ingredients in this particular traditional Chinese blend called candbactin is the Chinese skullcap. So if you ever hear of candbactin, the Chinese skullcap is in there, and that is skullcap is one of the main ingredients in that particular blend. And that blend is typically used or given to people to support issues that they might have with small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, or SIBO, because that's a mouthful. So if you have issues with SIBO, that particular blend called candbactin was actually created to help to support patients who were dealing with SIBO. It has also, the skullcap has also been used to support people with epilepsy. But if you are someone who has, issues with epilepsy, talk to your doctor about this first. Don't go and just automatically make yourself some skullcap tea. Make sure you talk to your doctor and let them know, because if you are taking medicine for epilepsy and then you take skullcap on top of it, there can be interaction. So you want to make sure that you contact your doctor or have a conversation with your doctor prior. And that goes for any of these herbs that I'm talking about, not just the skullcap, okay? If you have issues with insomnia, again, just like the American skullcap, the Chinese skullcap is also great for that. Studies have been done that show that the Chinese skullcap is potentially safe for people who are experiencing difficulties around like Alzheimer's and dementia. There's a lot of studies out there that have been, done with skullcap and has been used to support people who are going through those kind of challenging illnesses. It's also been used before we move on. Okay, let's jump back to the epilepsy and all of the other concerns. One of the things that skullcap does, it can cause drowsiness. So if you are drinking skullcap, please make sure you are not operating any kind of machinery or you're not driving, because let me tell you, and I don't know if MJ found this in her research or not, but people who are thinking about going on the ayahuasca journey, let's put it that way, but are afraid to kind of dive that deep, prior to doing the ayahuasca, one of the things they do is skullcap, to kind of give you an idea of how powerful of an herb skullcap is. Okay, it can actually be used as a substitute for a very mild substitute, but kind of, help prior to somebody going in to do the ayahuasca journey. So it can create drowsiness. So please make sure that you are very careful when you're working with skullcap. And if you're taking any of the, other medications, to make sure that you contact your doctor first. Let me just check this feed because it's going kind of crazy. Shannon, both looking so beautiful. Why, thank you. Cheryl, welcome to the show. And yes, that's it. All right, so also make sure that you check your liver functions prior to working with skullcap, because if you do have any kind of liver issues going on that you don't know about and you take skullcap, then it could exacerbate the issues that you may not necessarily know about, right? And if you have issues that you do know about, you definitely do not want to take skullcap unless you talk to your doctor first.
You're scaring the people. Stop it. Stop it. You're scaring the people. Stop it.
So
it is a
make
great
sure.
tea. It is a great
I'm
tea.
not, I don't mean to scare you, but you do realize that herbs are powerful, powerful tools. And if you misuse them, you can cause harm to yourself as well. Okay,
And you
so
got to
there,
be very careful.
so you do have to be very, very careful when you're working with natural, remedies. Yes, they're natural, but if you misuse them, they can cause harm. So this is why
Absolutely.
I make sure to throw these out there as well.
And scale top is
Um,
not a tea you should be drinking on an everyday basis like that.
no,
It's not something you want to drink this is a specialty tea. This is a tea that you take out to do special. And once I talk about the spiritual side, but just before she finishes, just so you know, this is a specialty blend. You'll here and there and there and here, it's going to benefit you. But anything in excess is not good for your body.
exactly. Shannon, I have to go. Okay, Shannon said I have to go. We'll catch the rest later. Well, thank you for
Bye, Mama.
stopping in, Shannon. All right, so here is who skullcap is not for. Even though I mentioned, that skullcap has been used to treat epilepsy, and we know that lots of children, have been diagnosed with epilepsy, this is not for children. It is also not for moms who are breastfeeding, and it's also not for pregnant women. Okay, so please ensure that. Here's the other thing. Make sure whenever you are sourcing skullcap that you know your source, because skullcap is one of those herbs that has been in the past, how do you put this nicely, mixed with all kinds of things that it shouldn't be mixed with, and you buy it thinking that it's pure skullcap, and it turns out to not be pure skullcap, and then you have issues. So check your source, and if you need, a reputable source, I can get you those. I'm not, there is one that I'm an affiliate of, and I became an affiliate because I trust this particular company. So if you are looking for a reputable source, you can always reach out. I'm not going to mention it here, but you can always reach out and ask. Okay, but make sure to check your source. And that's not just for skullcap, that's for all of the herbs that you're working with. But skullcap has had quite a bit of issues in the past. So that is why I mentioned that here. Okay. On to you, MJ. I believe that
Okay.
is everything I have for skullcap.
That was a lot of information for that, but how amazing that one tea, and look at all the benefits that it has for you. Yeah, there's some restrictions, but if you use it with caution, it's going to be amazing tea. Now, scale top on the spiritual side, this is a water element. It's female energy, that feminine energy. It's used for cleansing. It's used for luck. Okay. It's used for astral travel, for protection. It's used by practitioners when they astral travel to help them with the balance. Okay. I'm going to go way back for this. Back in the day, in medieval times, women would stuff it into their husbands' little satchels, and they would wear it on their satchels because it kept the men faithful. So if you got some skull caps, stuff, ladies, stuff. Keep your men faithful. Keep them in check. Shh, I know nothing. All right. And then it's also, and to this day, it can be used. You can take some and put it in your pillow. The herb smell of it helps with relaxation and calming the mind. So say you need to meditate and you want to go into a meditative state and just level up. Burn skull cap. You can burn some skull cap and just smell it in. It is going to do just like the tea is going to do, and it's going to help you get that extra level of balance and spiritual level. Okay, it takes you to the next level. Now, this is used in spell work to help relieve disharmony, disruptive situations. So if there's chaotic situations going on and somebody's throwing some chaotic energy, here's again, grab some skull cap, crunch, crunch, crunch. Get it ready in a little satchel, and there's your protection. It burns it, or set the intention, put a little charcoal, put the charcoal to burn, put some skull cap, and just let it away. As it burns, smell it in and release and let it go. The universe is right here taking it for you. Now, this tea is excellent for preventing nightmares. Yes, I did say it. So if you are having a lot of nightmares, this is a beautiful tea to drink right before the nightmares comes in. It also is very good for astral assaults and attacks. So if you feel you're being attacked while you're sleeping in the night and you're like, I don't know what's going on, you need to drink some skull cap. Not only drink it, I would take the herb, put it in a little sachet on your bed. You're going to hang it from your bed. And then that way, any energies are coming in are not coming to you. I would drink it if you're being attacked in any way or having severe nightmares. Very important. And it also relieves it. I'm a firm believer in calling in the angels. And if you do have nightmares, please call in Archangel Michael with this tea, and he will help eliminate and relieve that energy. Now, if you take skull cap and put it in a saucer with some coins and dress it with some oils, attraction oils, it calls in the money. So put it on a little saucer, put some coins on there, put some financial oils or bring me the money oil in there, and just leave some skull cap sprinkled around and just leave that right there. And you're going to have the money called in. So it's very, very good for astral travel. It's very good for protection. It's very good to keep your husbands faithful. So any and all of the above, skull cap is really excellent for.
I did not know the money part about skull cap. That I learned today. And here's the beauty of this. For those of you who haven't been here before, there's so many different ways of working with, with these herbs. It's all about tea talk, but MJ just gave you several ways of working with this outside of making a tea. And that's the beauty of this show, is it shows you so many different ways of working with these individual herbs. Okay. All right. So let's move on to Tulsi. But I believe we've talked about Tulsi before. Holy basil.
We've talked about holy basil before.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll link the videos and you can go back. But again, Tulsi is in there, or holy basil. You might know it as one or the other, because it does help to reduce stress and anxiety. So you'll see this as a common theme throughout these particular these ingredients. So that
remember
is
Crown Chakra. She's talking Crown Chakra, so she's placing this blend. I want you guys to think. Everything is relaxation, relaxing the mind so you could level up. So when you're focusing on the tea, remember, she's giving you ingredients that are going to really relax your mind so you can take your level up so that way you're here in this conscious mind. It's like taking what she's doing, what we're doing with a crystal. That's what she's doing in the tea. Exactly what I'm doing. That's what this tea is going to do for you as well. It's going to open you up here, and by relaxing the mind, because when you're in your mind, just give me a second here. We're like, I got to do laundry. Is this working? This is not working. I got to do this. Oh my God, the kids. Oh my God, the internet. Oh my God, this is. Oh my God, an itch. Even the worst thing. Oh my God, an itch. Oh my God. You got so many things. And when you put it and relax your mind and focus, I'm going to focus on this crystal. I'm going to focus on this crystal. I'm going to focus on this crystal. And every time you focus on the crystal, you put yourself back into balance and connecting with, hence, your crown chakra. And that's what we want.
Yeah. And like we said, this particular one is the soothing one for those people who, like MJ was saying, we're always worried about da 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 da. This is to kind of help you to, calm yourself down a little bit so you can be more efficient in your thought processing and all of that, right? So this is the soothing one. And again, this is ashwagandha, skullcap, tulsi or holy basil, lavender, and stevia. We know, the stevia is completely optional. That's in there as a sweetener. Lavender, again, we are very familiar with lavender. You've either used it in an essential oil format by diffusing it, or you can just snip it from the bottle, or you can make lavender tea, right? So, but it's all in there because it does help you to kind of relax and
sleep with it,
right?
Right. So, lavender on the bed, just like with the skull cap, is very excellent. Okay, and dark lavender, even better, if that helps with. Now I'm going to go to the next house. Skull cap puts it to help you relax. Lavender on the other side helps you to connect with your dreams. So if you tell us, Gina, I can't remember my dreams. MJ, I can't remember my dreams. Lavender.
Yeah, that's why I have lavender mixed with my mugwort.
That's a good one. That's a great one.
Okay, so those are the ingredients for the soothing crown chakra tea. Did you have a particular crystal for that tea blend?
For that one. for that one, I have decided if I don't break it, I was gonna name it Scodolite, because Scodolite is that connection with it is a crown chakra. It is rising above. It's a soothing stone, so it helps you at night to sleep as well. It helps you connect with your dreams and helps you elevate up into the next level. So I chose Scoliolite for your soothing brand, your soothing calm one. That's what I got.
I wanted to mention first, my son is on watching. My oldest son is watching. All right, and Cheryl says yes, and I used it in a smoke blend. Oh, absolutely, yes.
Or even better,
for
if you
me,
could smoke it.
for me, the if I were to, and I haven't. Usually, I give these a particular crystal name. I haven't named these ones yet. But for me, the soothing blend would be amethyst, and this is an amethyst cluster that I have here. Yeah.
Okay, so check it out. Now that you say that, I want to show you a special stone so you guys could see this. So this right here, and it has one side, and you can see it is really smooth, and it looks like a triangle. And then on the back, it's all rock. In medieval times, this was called the Seer Stone. So if you found a stone like this, it was only meant by people who were magical, like we're talking about the Merlins, the witches, okay, the elite. And they literally would rub the one side and have visions. And this is pure amethyst. They would call it the Seer Stone, so that because they had visions with it, and it's amethyst. They literally would connect with the amethyst and see it. And this is a Seer Stone right here.
Let me tell you another story about amethyst, which a lot of you may know. Back in the day, and they might still do it today, most of the chalices or the drinks, in the palace, they would be made out of amethyst. Do you know why? Because it's supposed to be, it's considered to be the sobriety stone. So if you're going, I don't know if we should mention this on here or not, but we're going to. When you drink from a chalice made of amethyst, when you drink alcohol from a chalice made of amethyst, it prevents you from getting drunk. Or if you are already on that path, if you get a piece of amethyst, meditate with that piece of amethyst, carry it around, it actually helps you to recover faster from.
That didn't work. You know that didn't work, but okay, we could try. Myth. We need.
I know people who say that it does work, and people who say that it doesn't. But the history behind it is that it's supposed to be the sobriety stone. But don't quote me on that, okay? All right. So let's move on to the activating. Let me put that one aside. This is the activating.
Yes, we're taking that myth out of here.
Yes, we need to. And you see MJ smudging with the sage. We're going to talk about sage in a little while. All right, so let me just grab my info for the Activating Crown Chakra blend. And I wanted to bring in, my rosemary plant, but I totally forgot it. But everybody here, I'm sure, knows what rosemary looks like, right? You either have it dried in your spice cabinet, or you may even have a plant growing outside. I had one that I started, it must have been like yay big, and it got to about 3 feet around. It was huge. And I ended up moving, and I wanted to take my rosemary bush with me. And I dug it up and I put it into a nice big pot, and I got it to the other location, and I planted it into the ground, and it died. So here's a tip about rosemary. Rosemary does not like to be moved once it's planted in the ground. That's what I found out afterwards. If you want to keep your rosemary, put it into a nice big pot, keep transplanting it into that pot, adding more soil as you need it, but never dig it up out of the ground. Rosemary hates to be moved. It will die. I've learned that.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's one of the, and I did some research on it afterwards, and that's what I found out afterwards. So, but rosemary is the main. Let me grab. This is the activating and tea blend, and you can see I do have quite a bit of rosemary in here, and I've worked with rosemary for a number of years now. The main way that I've worked with it is rosemary mixed with basil and a few other herbs to actually regrow my hair many years ago when I started to have issues with alopecia resulting from the lupus. I had a huge back here, I had a huge bald spot. So I would always wear my hair in a ponytail, pulled back, and the ponytail would cover up that huge bald spot that I had. So nobody knew that I was actually bald back there. And then I started playing around with rosemary and a few other things after. And I think during this time I was also studying to be an herbalist. This was I think my very first herbalist program. And I started mixing rosemary with basil and a few other things, and slowly but surely my hair grew back all over. So then the opportunity came to, because I've always wanted to shave my head. It was just a thing I've always wanted to do ever since seeing Grace Jones back in the day. Um, and a few other people, you know, with women with shaved heads. So I was always intrigued. And then the opportunity came with an organization who specialized in childhood cancer research. So I did. I shaved it all off. But when I shaved it off, there were no bald spots. So I know that rosemary, that's one of the ways that rosemary works, is it um, works on your hair follicles and helps to boost, boost all of that and helps the hair to regrow. And I'm sure there's more scientific ways of putting it, but bottom line, it does help to regrow your hair. But I was always intrigued with by rosemary because I I don't know if you're familiar with Shakespeare's Hamlet. There's a character in there named Ophelia, and that's one of the things she mentions in it is rosemary as the herb of remembrance as well. But it's so much more than that, and it's the herb of remembrance. It helps your hair to grow, and it has so many other benefits, right? In ancient Greece and ancient Rome, it was also thought to strengthen memory. And they used to make crowns, braid crowns together made of rosemary, and students would wear the crowns of rosemary if they were studying or something. And with my youngest son, that's one of the things I did. I have a focus blend, which is mixed with also with basil and rosemary and a few other things that he would kind of spread along the front of his desk when he was working. And we would also rub it on the inside of his wrist whenever he had to go and take a test. And what it does, it makes connections with the scent of the rosemary as well as what you've studied before. So it does make that connection in your brain. And he would do so much better on tests whenever he was working with the rosemary. We never did the braiding thing because, I mean, guys these days, us girls probably wouldn't mind wearing crowns of rosemary, but the guys, yeah. So the crowns are mostly back in ancient Greece, ancient Rome. Rosemary also helps to improve the speed and the accuracy in which you respond to certain questions, especially when it comes to math. So if you have a student who is struggling in math, one of the things that you could work with is rosemary, some rosemary tea, or just working with the raw rosemary or with the rosemary oil. Anyway, it does help in with either way that you work with it. Several years ago, I have an aunt who's battling Alzheimer's, and that's another way that we found out that rosemary is very beneficial. It does seem to work with, and all of this stuff is science based. There's a lot of research that has been done with people who are battling Alzheimer's, who are battling dementia, that rosemary does help them with retrieving things that they might have forgotten. So it does help them with the memory in that regard as well. It also tends, by helping with retrieving certain memories, it also helps with agitation, because if you're struggling to remember stuff, you're getting agitated because you're forgetting things that you should know, right? Or you think you should know, but because of the dementia or the Alzheimer's, you're not able to remember. So you have agitation to deal with on top of that, and the anxiety from all of that. And the rosemary does tend to alleviate some of that anxiety
Just
and
a little bit. Remember, guys, a little bit. We're talking, this is one little herb. I mean, she's talking about it here, but remember, let's bring this down. Rosemary is here in this level 4. And some
yeah,
people are allergic to it. So please, with this also, I'm going to tell you to please
yes,
very careful, because rosemary is one of those herbs that you can have a reaction to it. So what it does in the good, you have to balance it out. All right.
yes. So
Especially when
that's
it
one of
comes
the
to
things that I
rosemary.
was going to mention later on, as far as rosemary is concerned. If you do have any issues with epilepsy, you cannot work with rosemary, because rosemary tends to trigger epileptic seizures. So if you do have any of those concerns, or you have kids that I know a particular family, we can't even have the oil around. They don't have the rosemary oil in their house. There's no rosemary anywhere, because it does tend to trigger epileptic seizures in people who are prone to epilepsy. Okay. All right. Rosemary is a natural pain reliever. So as well, another way that I've worked with it is by mixing it with some Epsom salts, some pink Himalayan salt, mixed in with some dried rosemary, and just put it into my bath water and soak in it. And this was something I figured out years ago when I was first diagnosed with lupus, and I woke up in pain every day. I think I took a bath salts bath every single day, and rosemary was always in there. It's just a not very natural pain reliever. And just in case you didn't know, it's also a natural bug repellent. But you know, um, I didn't really work with it in that regard, but I know that it's considered to be a natural
It's
bug
not a
repellent.
main one. Yeah, for me, I don't work with rosemary, and I live on an island where has a lot of bugs, and I don't use rosemary here. It's not the one I would tell you to put into your oil. So with that one, I would leave that one. I would leave that in the myth. Let's myth best that one out.
Yeah, so then I know people who actually grow rosemary right in front of their door, because it does help to block bugs from coming inside. So let me yep, and I think that is all that I have for rosemary. And guys, again, there's lots of research out there. I cannot possibly give you everything. But again, let me, reiterate that if you're having any of those concerns, like I mentioned with epilepsy, you do not work with rosemary. Cheryl says, I'm going to make some tonight. Sounds amazing. Yeah, so always consult your doctor first before working with any kind of natural or herbal medicine,
Especially when
please.
you're taking other medications, especially when it comes to stuff like this. I know she gave you a lot of heaviness from when it came to the medicinal part of it, but rosemary is also a very good herb to use. It's very good to use in your food as well. And on the spiritual side, it is a blessing herb. It is a blessing. Rose, you use the sage to clear. Remember, whatever you're going to use sage and you to call out stuff. Sage is always used to clear energy. Rosemary is used after to bring it in. Rosemary is one of them, between rosemary and lavender, it is one of the herbs that you call in blessings with rosemary. For the side effects that it does have, remember, you can smell it. I am one, even if you're burning it, just remember, burn it and smell it. And if it gets overwhelming for you, back away from it. Remember, it's something that may hurt you or give you a reaction. So with that one, I'm always going to ask you to be careful with it. It may have all these beautiful, beautiful effects, but kind of it's on the balance for me. That one I put on the balance on that one. And I do burn it. Like I clear my house. Say you clear your house daily. You go with your sage after. Want rosemary. Remember, what you take out, you want to bring in. So if you're taking out negative energy, you want to call in sweet energy. Okay, so it's just like, well, let me sage, I'm good. Okay, well, where's your rosemary? Where's your lotus? Where's your other to bring in? Where's your palo santo? There's a balance. Okay, and people
Right.
don't know that. So always bring in your balance when it comes into rosemary. But that's what I got for rosemary. We're pretty good. We've talked about rosemary before, so I'm not going to continue to talk about that one a lot.
And we Anna says hello. She's just joining
Hola,
us.
Ana.
Okay, so that's rosemary and all right. So Siberian ginseng we've talked about before as well. That is,
Mm-hmm.
Siberian ginseng is also called eleuthero. So if you hear us refer to eleuthero or Siberian ginseng in the previous videos, then we're talking about the same thing. And again, this is in here because it has been shown to improve memory and feelings of well-being. And this is typically one that's used by middle-aged people, so that when we get to about my age, this is one in traditional Chinese medicine that's given to people around my age. So that's Siberian ginseng. Um, Let me go to the next one. All right, so Ginkgo biloba. We have not talked about ginkgo before, but
We have talked about it way back
we
when.
have.
But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's another one. That's why I didn't write it down, because that's one we've talked about in an older blend. But all right, go ahead. You
It's
can mention it.
possible.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't remember. I don't remember that one. All right, so Ginkgo biloba is one of the oldest trees on the planet.
Hello.
Okay, so and if you look it up online, you'll see there's a very old photograph that's always shown this particular really old ginkgo biloba tree in bloom. It's absolutely gorgeous. So if you've never seen that, just type that into the search bar, and you'll find it. But they're considered to be some of the oldest trees on the planet, and I think there's one in China that is reported to be around 2,500 years old. Absolutely gorgeous trees. But the reason why ginkgo is in this blend is because it does help with cognitive function. You see a trend here? That's
The
why this
mind.
is in here. Right. So talking about the crown chakra, everything going up here. It does help to alleviate anxiety. The blend that I am drinking, this is the activating blend, because like I mentioned, over the last month or so, and the last few months actually, with everything that I've experienced, I kind of, was very subdued, and there were things that I would normally do that I really didn't feel like doing, and I was kind of in a slump, would you say, MJ? MJ and I are pretty close. She knows quite a few of the things that I've gone through over the last few months. So that's one of the reasons why I'm drinking the activating one. And to put things in perspective, I'm actually working on my doctorate right now, and my goal was to have it finished by the end of this year. And I have not looked at anything related to my doctorate in about 2 months, because I just have been in that slump, and I really didn't even, there's some things that I've done, but I was just not motivated. So the blend that I'm drinking is the activating crown chakra tea. Okay. So just to kind of, on a personal note there. And the ginkgo biloba is in this particular blend that I am drinking. So it does help with memory enhancement as well. Like I mentioned, cognitive function also helps by improving our ability to kind of get stuff done throughout the day, right? Because it helps us to focus, gives us that motivation to actually get our stuff done. And there's a lot of studies out there related to dementia and Alzheimer's, and the connection with the ginkgo biloba, the benefits that these particular people have experienced by working with ginkgo. So since we've talked about this before, we'll just link the other videos, and then we'll move on to the other. But I'm sure you're seeing the trend as to why these are in here.
The mind, the mind, the mind.
Oh my.
Everything is about, and one on top of it, calming the mind. Whereas quartz is an amplifier, and if you want to calm your mind, but she's also using it to calm. So I want you to focus on that. Calm your mind down, because when you calm the mind down, you'll get the clarity to hear, feel, and sense what you really need to do. And that's what she's making here, guys. Let's calm the mind. I gotta keep saying it because you keep hearing all these things, but it's a calming thing. It's going to feel so relaxed. It's going to get you what it needs. So I'm doing this. So this is what you want. You want to get a pure connection to spirit by calming the mind. And that's how you do it.
Absolutely. So the next one is sage. And if you notice, MJ she's been smudging. That thing that she's burning, that's actually a sage bundle. And sage is a very, very ancient herb. The one we're talking about is salvia. It comes from the salvia family. And I believe the one is that we're going to be talking about is Salvia Officinalis, because there are lots of different types of sage out there, right? Loaded with lots of compounds that act as antioxidants, help to boost your brain's defense system. And it's also been shown to halt the breakdown of acetylcholine, which is a chemical messenger that plays a role in memory. All right. So that ACH or the acetylcholine actually seem to fall slightly when it comes when they've examined Alzheimer's and dementia patients. They found that the acetylcholine levels are really low. So they've been one of the things that they work with. One of the ways they work with sage is by this with the Alzheimer's and dementia patients. It helps to increase the ACH levels in these particular patients. Sage is extremely anti-inflammatory. It's got all kinds of antiseptic properties. It basically supports a healthy communication between your brain cells and the rest of your body. So here's the thing. There are two brains. You have two brains in your body. Okay, you got the one up here and you have the one in your gut. Yes, you have a brain in your gut. And if the brain in your gut or your gut area is not healthy, it affects up here. And if up here isn't working too well, or you're having some concerns here, it affects your stomach. There is no disconnect between the two. So when one area is healthy, the other area is also healthy. When one area is having some concerns, you're going to experience it up here. And there's a lot of research to back me up on this. So you do have two brains in your body, the gut brain, and then you have your crown brain up here as well. So sage kind of helps you with everything. And you can drink the sage tea or you can burn it like MJ is doing, because there's research to support burning sage actually helps to clean the environment, clean your air. And with me personally, and this might sound kind of oxymoronish or paradoxical, I should say. When I burn sage, especially if I'm having some trouble breathing on those days when there's pollen is just really high, when I burn sage and I inhale some of the smoke, it clears me up right away. It just completely opens up my lungs, and that might sound a little strange, but that's what it does for me. So sage has so many benefits. Now I'm not going to say go ahead and just like fill your house up with sage smoke and sit there and inhale. No, this is just, if you see what MJ is doing, just very, very lightly, right? Walk through your home, and it does help to purify the air in your home. But sage also promotes memory, and it also promotes you being able to focus. So your attention span is improved. So if there's a particular activity that you're supposed to be focused on, smudging your area, that will also help you with your attention span, because there are certain compounds that are in the sage that actually work on your brain in that way. And loads of research. Again, sage, I think, is one of those herbs that has been studied and studied and studied. So there's a lot of research out there relating to sage and its how it supports your mental faculties. It also helps with macular degeneration. It's anti-inflammatory. It is, oh gosh, all the antis. It has been shown to support people who are dealing with heart disease, people who have suffered a stroke. Again, sage tea has been worked with people who have been stroke victims, and it's helped them to kind of bounce back a lot faster than they normally would have. It's a popular treatment for headaches and migraines in traditional Chinese medicine. I've never actually personally drank it for that reason, but research as far as traditional Chinese medicine, that's a popular use over there. It's also been shown to help to improve asthma as well as COPD. And this is one of the things I just mentioned as far as helping me to breathe easier. So it has been shown with people who have asthma issues or COPD, and it kind of those symptoms, it helps to reduce anxiety, because if you're struggling to breathe, I mean, you can imagine your anxiety is going to go through the roof. So in addition to kind of opening up your lungs, it also brings your anxiety levels way down. And even if you're not struggling to breathe, when you just smudge your home a little bit with that sage, you'll notice you just kind of you automatically just kind of breathe, and your anxiety level, you just feel it. You feel it all over. Your anxiety level drops. Now, there are some adverse effects that can occur. So let me put that out there. If you are taking blood thinners, you've got to be careful with that. You've got to be careful with if you're taking things like aspirin, if you're taking things like warfarin, MAOIs, SSRIs, any those type of medications. Please consult your doctor
All
before.
medications, please, with all herbs.
Yes.
We're going to say it over and over again. She doesn't need to say that. We're going to keep saying it. No matter what we
Yeah.
give you or say, you're going to try. You're taking medications. Please just don't go and say, I'm going to make the tea, and then something happens to you. We're warning you. Please go check with your medication. It could have an effect. Maybe not one zip, but many zips could be a problem. So please always check.
Yes. And that is something that I always do have to say. Just make sure that it's kind of one of those CYAs type of situations. So please make sure. Yes, always consult your doctor, and know that we're not giving you any kind of medical advice here. This is not in substitution for going to see your doctor. Please go see your doctor if you've got something going on. We're here
We're
to kind
not
of educate
doctors.
you.
We are not doctors. We are not doctors,
So
and we're going to keep
go
saying
and
that
see your
we're
doctor.
not. We're I'm spiritual, but I'm not a doctor, and I'll never. Okay, never. Always go back to the doctors to get a final diagnosis to your element. I'm going to say this really quick. You are not meant here to suffer in this universe. You are not meant here to suffer. So if you're sitting on your couch suffering, saying, I'm going to use a herb instead of seeing a doctor, I'm going to tell you, go see a doctor. Go get an actual prescription. Find out what's wrong with you. And then go into a crossroad and decide, am I going to go the healthy path like Gina did? And that's how she did her lupus, and that's how I'm walking the same path. Or are you going to go the other way with medication? There's always there, but you got to find the reset first. Don't feel like, okay, we are not the knowers of everything, but we just knowing based on our journeys in life and where these herbs have taken each one of us and what we've studied. And that's all we're showing us. So it's really important that you understand that when it comes to these herbs, okay, that you understand. And I'm going to talk to you about the spiritual side of sage, this beautiful plant right here that I love so much. Now, sage is it's connected with the moon, and we have a new moon right now. It's planet Jupiter. It's air. Okay, this plant is emotional, releasing negativity, bacteria. It takes this right here, you can burn, and those mosquitoes pew, 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 will fly away from you. This is grounding. This is mental clarity. This is the releasing of bad spirits that come into your home. This is the releasing of your own mind. This is cooking. You ever had a sage salad or a sage meal? Sage is amazing in your food. This plant right here, this herb right here is over the top. When you burn it, all right, you can smoke it, you can drink it. It has benefits that will never last. Now, Gina said something about the chakras that I want to talk to you about. So I am a quantum Reiki healer, and I work with energy, and we all have energy cycles. What she's talking about, the brain, is an energy cycle. We have energy. The chakras are energy cycles. And when this chakra balances with your stomach chakra, so your head chakra and your stomach, intestines, and all that are connected, and it's like a root. You see how it goes in a circle? And if it's blocked, it's not going. So every time you have head issues, you have stomach issues. You know why? Because you're always in your head. You're always worried about the problem. And what are you doing? All right. And I do past life regression, and doing past life regression as a hypnotherapist, it's because you're letting something eat away in your stomach, and you are officially being eaten away in your own stomach. You're doing it to yourself. And that's what that energy is. So when you balance one, you balance the energy centers. She'll call them brains. I'm going to call them energy centers, because they are the energy centers that we have in our body. And when you realize that your crown chakra connects with your sacral chakra. So, and where's your sacral chakra? In your stomach. So you want to make sure that what they're connecting with, they're in balance with each other. and using the right herbs can help do that for you, and connecting with that. And that's what sage is one of those herbs. It's multi-talented. Seriously, it does everything from healing to connecting to the spiritual end. And like I said, sage is good. You want to burn away the energy, and you also want to light some rosemary and bring in blessings in. For what you send away, you want to bring in. Remember, your left hand brings in, your right hand takes away. So you want to put away with the sage, and you want to bring in with the rosemary. That's how this works here when it comes to this beautiful plant right here, and balancing these chakras that we have. So what's our next herb? I think we talked about them all. Wait,
We talked about all of the others before. So the others are elderberry, which we've talked to extensively before.
Oh yeah.
And peppermint. So those you can find on other videos. But I wanted to mention something based on something else that MJ just said. There's a particular nerve that runs from the base of your neck, base of your base of your brain here, not your neck. Starts up here and goes around, kind of wraps around your ear, comes all the way down, goes all the way down to your stomach, goes down, I think, to your left, comes back up. That particular nerve is called your vagus nerve. When your vagus nerve is in balance, up here is not balanced and your gut area is not balanced. And pretty much your whole body is kind of out of whack. So if you notice, we're kind of tying in, MJ's pulling in like the spiritual aspect of it. I pull in the herbal, the physical aspect of it. But it all ties together because we are spiritual beings. But if our spiritual side is, when one is not working properly, it affects the other, right? When over here isn't working properly, it's going to affect over here. So we have to work on making sure that every aspect of our life is in sync or working the way that it should, because something is going to be affected. Something's going to be thrown off if we're not focusing on making sure that everything's kind of working the way that it should. So when I mentioned about the two brains, that's how, when I was studying, that's what we were told. But another way of looking at it is just that vagus nerve, it connects from one brain down to the other brain in your gut. And so if one part isn't working,
the energy centers. I'm going to say energy centers. I'm not braining this.
Yeah.
I'm not flowing with the braining. Let's do the energy centers because we're all chakras. Let's show them chakras.
Right. But I'm
in the body.
I'm speaking from the physical, the medicinal side. So that's one way of looking at it as well, because we are spiritual beings, but we do have a physical body that we also have to make sure that we're taking care of it. And if we can relate more to how the physical part actually makes up, then the other side will also start to make sense.
Right.
Because a lot of the
chakras are off, then you'll know. Right. So but we're teaching you chakra tea. So exactly what she said. So what if your crown chakra is off? If your crown chakra is off right now, you're going to feel like, I'm feeling cynical. I'm feeling discouraged. I'm feeling like sarcastic. I'm closed-minded. I'm disconnected from spirit. I'm living in my head a lot. I'm commenting always in my head. I'm not attached to spiritual matters. That's when, and you'll know yourself. We've talked about all the other chakras. This is the crown chakra. So if your crown chakra, this is where the energy flows right into to connect to your other crown chakras, to your other chakras and your energy centers. So if your crown chakra is out of balance, you're not going to be feeling, you're going to be feeling a whole sense of everything is wrong. The world is wrong. Watch your words. This is where I'll tell you, when you speak to people, do you always throw, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. Yeah, but let me see if I can. Do you always seem to hype it up and then 5 seconds later, you're shooting yourself down? That's your crown chakra is out of balance. If you were putting yourself down in a way, or you downing yourself, like, yeah, I'm going to do this because I can do it, but yeah, I got to save money now and I'm going to, and maybe next week, and then you start talking yourself down, you are out of balance and you need to regroup. What chakras are? Say to yourself, am I balanced? Is my chakra out of balance? Am I good? How do I know? And now I'm going to give you a tip right here. Right now, we're going to show you. I'm going to give you one tip, how you can balance and know if your chakra's out of balance. Today, I'm going to use my beautiful mala. Now, I'm going to use my mala. As you can see, this is my great mala. It has the Hayuya sun from Puerto Rico, from my ancestral heritage here. So I'm going to ask this mala, because this is energy, and this is not I'm talking energy. Mala, will you work with me today? Yes, you will, because you love me. Show me yes. Show me no. Now, this is not me moving my hand. Now, you go up to your head, to your crown chakra. Is my crown chakra balanced? Is my third eye balanced? Is my throat chakra balanced? Is my heart chakra balanced? Is my solar balanced? Is my sacral balanced? Is my root balanced? And why I'm imbalanced? Because I Reiki myself to make sure before my day started, because I'm not always in balance. I have a lot of trouble with my sacral chakra that gets out of balance. And when my sacral gets out, boop, I'm in my head. That means I'm in my head a lot. So you got to think about it. So when you think about it in that sense, rethink about it today. When I'm out of balance, am I being sarcastic? Am I being rude? Am I being this? Something is out of balance, and put it back in balance, especially when it comes to your crown chakra, and it balances everything else in you. And this little tip, any necklace, anything you have, remember, it's about energy. Magic is energy that's around us. It's time to use it.
But we have to remember, not everybody who watches this show actually watches it for this reason too. So I do respect that, and I understand that. So that is why I tend to bring in the physical part of it as well, because I know that there are others who are watching who, even though we talk about the chakras and we talk about the energy centers, that, you know, a lot of people that watch this are going to be like totally confused. So I'm glad that MJ can explain all of that a little bit better. Even though I do have certifications in certain fields, my expertise tends to be on the herbal side. Okay.
You can ask any questions when it came to that pendulum activity that I did. You all can do it. You all take your necklace. It is not bad. It is not buoy. It's not voodoo. It's not dark magic. It is energy. We live in a stream of energy, and I'm gonna show you real quick, guys, for the people who don't believe, because I want you to see how I want to show you how this is real. Now, my trusty
and I want to
lighter.
say something as far as the pendulum is concerned too. Keep in mind, this is how water was found, and
look,
a lot of people, this is still how water is.
Just look at just give them 1 second. You see what's happening here? Do you see the flow? You see what's happening, the burning? You see the smoke? That's energy moving. That is energy in its finest sense. All around you, your smoke is moving the energy. That is the energy that we work with. And it is the simplest way to show anyone. This is scientifically proven. So you want to get down to the basics, guys. I don't want you to be scared, because this right here is energy. And this is what we're working with right here. And when it comes to the chakras and everything, it is around this energy. Energy is all around us. And when you see it and realize that, scientific proven, you can go search, and in the internet, you will find just this right here is all you need to understand. The energy is real. And if we know how to use it correctly, we're unstoppable.
And here's one of the things: whenever you're experiencing any kind of pain is just stuck energy. It's stuck energy. And if you go to automatically to some kind of pharmaceutical that is not necessarily designed, and I'm not knocking pharmaceuticals, there's a place for it. But if you constantly are just, you know, trying to get rid of the pain, or try to get it to where you don't feel the pain, you're basically doing yourself a disservice, because the pain is there as a messenger for you to let you know that there's some blocked energy in there. And a lot of the times where you're experiencing the blocked energy or that pain is not where the issue is, right? And that's for a whole other discussion that I'm sure MJ, she understands. But
1000%. She's so right. But let's talk
energy.
about these crystals. We're going to talk about the crystals now that work with the crown chakra. And just like she said, because this is moving energy, this is pure selenite. This is angelic connection. Selenite is a crown chakra stone. And why? Because what she just talked about was pain. Say you have I call pain a discomfort in the body. Remember, I have a saying, and I'll say it with you. Si te pica, aplica. If it stings you, it's for you. Don't ignore it. If you have a stinging in the body, why are you ignoring it? It's your internal system saying, Gina, help me, help me. And it tells me all the time. And my discomfort goes to 0 from 60 in 2.5 seconds. It's like the Fast and the Furious. And my pain, especially in my shoulder, will go woo and let me know. You can't ignore it. So si te pica, aplica. If it stings you, it's for you. Don't ignore your pains in the body. They're messengers from spirit trying to communicate. Before it gets to the worst level, ignore it. We keep going squirrel, squirrel, because we're so afraid. Fix it when it's simple, opposed fixing it to when I can't fix it anymore. You see what I'm saying? But selenite is beautiful for this. Everyone should have a piece of selenite in their armory. And this is what you do with selenite every day. It clears not only, we have levels of auras, layers before we even get to our chakra system. You start from the top and you're wiping your energy clear. This is angelic energy. The purest connection to the angels is this piece right here. So every day, make it a habit of cleaning your aura straight down all the day. You're giving yourself all the way down, even the bottom of your feet. Don't forget the bottom of your feet. You want to put your whole self in a bubble of selenite and really clear in the back. Don't forget the back.
And don't forget behind you as well.
The back is always what you do in the front, you do in your back. Even if you go back here and you're like, I do a little dance, you know, I always make it a morning meditation. I do my mudra. I do the selenite. Very important because it's going to clear your energy. It is connection. I literally take it and I connect it to every chakra. So say you want to clear your chakra, just put it on each chakra. Give each chakra a moment of energy as you put it down and you go down the line. Don't forget your solar chakra and don't forget your earth chakra. Okay, what's down below you and what's up above you. As above, so below. And when you do, you're clearing your energy. And what happens is that stuck energy that Gina discussed will start inching away. It may not come out in 1 second, but it will start getting away and you'll start feeling into it. This is why I'm going to ask you to learn your body, learn to know the signs in your body. And if you have too much discomfort, why? That means you're not listening to the signs in your body and it's really starting to sting you and it's time not to. So my goal is selenite. This is a selenite wand. I want to show you. There's another piece. This is my baby. This is I open circles with.
Those too.
Yeah, you have this one. This is my baby.
I've got that too.
You know, okay. So this is a selenite wand. This is my baby. I'm always cleaning. I open circles with this. I close circles. I cut cords. What is cutting cords? You say we all have spiritual cords connected to other people. What do we do with the cords? They always connect. Gina and I have a cord because we meet. You are in this group with us, so you've connected to our cords. Some cords are great to have and you're supposed to have them and beautiful, and some cords you're supposed to cut. At the end of your day, when you go home at night, you take your selenite wand, and as you're cleaning, this is twice a day. Mine recommend twice a day with your selenite. Clear your energy and then call in Archangel Michael. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for cutting any cords to people, places, or situations that do not serve my highest good. So it's not a cord that me and Gina have. It's anything that doesn't serve me. So anything that Gina and I had an argument, it's going to cut the cords and release energies that didn't serve us, but not cords from us. Remember, there's a big difference of cutting cords. Because I know there's a big debate on cords. I'm a firm believer, because from what I got from spirit is that you can't take cords that are meant to cut into a different lifetime. So if you're not cutting cords in this lifetime and then you're dragging those cords into the next lifetime, guess what? You're eventually going to have to come back and cut these cords. So might as well get the cords cut that release them, and selenite is perfect to do that and clear your energy stream. And by cutting your cords, it opens you up to clear your crown chakra and all that beautiful energy that you need to receive so you can connect to spirit.
So you're basically releasing the energy that doesn't belong to you at the end of the day, and you're calling your own energy back in. That's one of the simplest ways that I think we can put that.
Right, it's real sweet. And even if you're in your bed when you're doing it, and say you have no selenite, say you have no crystals, I don't believe in crystals. Okay, thank you. I'm good with that. I could lay in my bed just fine, and I call in Archangel Michael, and he does all the work for me. Call in the spirits, call in whatever you believe that's in your faith to believe. But just call in and to make it a habit of cleaning out and releasing the energy. Remember, you went outside today. How many people did you see at work, on the bus, on the train, in the car? Someone cursed at you. Someone looked at you. Someone saw your dress and went like, damn, she thinks she look good. Yeah, I do look good. But you know what? They gave you all that energy that attacks your aura and spirit and makes you dull, makes your chakra dull, makes your energy dull. You feel, sometimes don't you feel really heavy? Like, oh my God, the world is going to end. And it's not your energy. You've not cleaned your spirit. And when you take a little of this and you clear your spirit and your crown chakra, you feel like, my God, I feel alive. I feel lighter
Be
because you're
lighter.
now taking
Yes.
care of
Yes.
you. You're taking care of you. And that's what all this is about. We're trying to explain to you these are, and there's all, you can find and research all these informations. Don't be scared by everything. It is a new day. Utilize the energy that's in front of you. That energy is what we call magic.
And speaking of magic, MJ, and you have a partner as well on this project, just released. Is it your first oracle card
My
yet?
first. So I'm so excited. Thank you, Gina, for allowing me to come here. We just got them. They just came. I'm super excited. These are officially our oracle card deck. So I'm going to pull out one for you. Sylvie Brewster is the artist and my co-conspirator for this amazing deck. Look at this. Just look at this. So it says, talk yourself up. So it says, even on your worst days, you are an amazing, beautiful, smart, happy, and powerful soul. It's time to talk yourself up and always stand in your sovereignty. It's looking really good on you. Talk yourself up.
Yes.
And that is talk yourself.
Well,
So
congratulations, MJ.
thank you. These cards are channeled, but you can also meditate to the images and sense yourself and feel yourself. Some of them will give you a spiritual chakra. Some of them will give you a hug. And some of them will just remind you of who you are and stand in your power. So I'm really excited. I did it. My bucket list. I got cards. That's better. Thank you. Sylvia and I are just been jumping with joy. Athena Paracas, we gifted her a set yesterday, and she got them, and she was talking them on the live, and I'm like, wait, that's my name. Wait, she's talking about me. I was like starstruck, and I'm like, wait, Sylvie! Oh my God! I felt like a kid in a candy store jumping around on the bed. I'm like, she's talking about me. She's talking about me. Then
So
Sylvia
where
had
can, if somebody wants to acquire a set, where can
they can reach out to me or Sylvie. You can reach out to me. You have all the links below. I am on mj.bond on Facebook, or you can reach me on Instagram also from Frequencies in Mucha Mas. And you can order a beautiful set, and you're going to have each one is connected with beautiful energy, and it was challenged beautifully. It's been a dream of mine. Let's heal together. Let's heal together. And that's what these cards are all about. I'm honored if you feel called to them. Like I said, the artwork is amazing, and the channels are even more amazing. So reach out. Thank you. This is on my bucket list. It was like, oh my God. So yay, thank you. Yay.
All right. And on that note, thank you again, MJ, for being here with us today, and for everyone who joined.
We didn't name the tea. We didn't name the tea.
No,
You ate the smoothing one, but you didn't name the other one.
Actually, I didn't name either one of them because I'm not sure what I want to name them yet. The activating one is either going to be clear quartz or herkimer. I'm not sure yet. Okay. I did have clear quartz here.
Yeah.
This is my clear quartz diamond. I also have just a tumbled piece of clear quartz. And then I also have a mini Vogel as well, all clear quartz. So I think my activating one is going to be either the clear quartz or herkimer. Is that
my ring is clear quartz. My ring it's a magician's pendant, and it's clear quartz. Mm-hmm.
So I haven't decided what the names are going to be, but the soothing one for me, I think, would be amethyst, because that's what amethyst does for me. Selenite is not so much. Selenite for me is almost like taking a bath, like a. So it's I wouldn't name it selenite. The amethyst is very, very, very soothing and calming. So it would
They're
be.
telling me a combination. You need to like a combo amped up or crowned up or crowned something or amp
Yeah.
crown or something that something they keep playing. They keep telling me a play on words. So let's play on words of what this is for this one. But this is a nice tea, like I said. And remember, crown chakra, but she created this blend so we can calm the mind. These are all beautiful blends of herbs that Gina put together to calm the mind, which is really good to connect with your crown chakra, guys. So,
And these are all going to be made available. We've gone through today's the 7th, and all of these tea blends are going to be made available. You just have to give me, I would say, give me a couple weeks. I am working with someone right now to, get them all packaged and stuff. So I was talking to someone last week actually, and kind of making sure that the blends. This is another master herbalist, because even though I'm a certified master herbalist, I don't claim to know it all. So I always go to another one and said, listen, I have these tea blends put together. Give me your input. And so far, I've got a check, 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 check for every single one. So I'm working on getting them out to you guys, for those of you who
beautiful,
feel.
beautiful. And that's magic. That means even more magic in that cup. Okay. That's so much magic. I'm super excited for that, Gina. This is what needed to come. That's what needed to come from this. So, yes, guys. So, even more. And if you have recipes and stuff like that that you want us to announce and put out there, we are more than happy to come together and spiritually blend it up and talk about these teas and just make it more magical. Remember, once again, I'm going to say this. This is us showing you. And even though Gina's going to make these teas are going to be amazing. I'm so excited. But you can make these teas. Let's get back to basics. Let's put our hands in the dirt. Let's grow these herbs. Let's get these herbs. Let's blend them together and know we can Reiki infuse them. We could add sound healing. We could add crystal love to it ourselves. And when we make it ourselves, magic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I give you all of the ingredients whenever we're doing these shows. You have all of the ingredients, so you can make these yourself. But if for those of you who don't want to, yes, but when you put your own magic into it, you're making it with your own fingers. Yes, you're putting your own magic into these tea blends. That's power, right? That's true. True magic right there. All right, so we are going to sign off. No, I've been like,
thank you, Gina. This was beautiful. Thank you for the blend. Thank you for everything. This was great. Don't forget to take care of your crown chakra, guys. And remember the magic. There's magic in that cup. And Gina just showed you how to make it. So, yes.
So we'll see you. We had quite a few people on today. Thank you for everyone who joined us. Don't forget to go back and you can watch the replay of today as well as all of the others. They will all be linked just in case you miss any of them. There is a playlist called Tea Talk with Gina and MJ. So you'll be able to see all of them. Bye, everyone. Thank you again,
Take
MJ.
care. Thank you, Gina. Take care.